The mayor's unable to come tonight, so I'll be chairing the meeting. And Open Public Meetings Act statement, this is to state that the notice requirements of Chapter 231 PL 1975 have been satisfied by publication of said notice in the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, and by filing a copy with the Deputy Municipal Clerk. May we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Zajac.
Here.
Ms. Renee.
Here.
Mr. Wardell.
Here.
Mr. Kostis.
Here.
Mrs. Lewis.
Here.
And Mr. Calhoun.
Here.
And now we'd like to have the flag salute, if everybody would care to stand. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And for communications this evening, we have the February 2019 monthly report of the Neptune City Police Department. Submitted herewith is the February 2019 monthly report for the Neptune City Police Department. To summarize, the following key activities are provided. In February 2018, we had total calls for service 787. In February of 2019, we had 732. And that's it. And we don't have any presentations tonight. Do we have any public participation? Oh, maybe we have a receive and file the report, please.
Receive.
First time.
Receive file. Second.
So Andrew Wardell's received and filed, and Joe Zajac second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And we did an amendment to add the letter.
We have a letter that was sent to all mayor and council members earlier today. This was in support of the visiting nurses of Central New Jersey. And I would need a motion to accept into our communications for receive and filing.
So offered. Second.
Offered by David Calhoun, second by Joe Zajac. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, we're in the public.
Would anyone like to make any public comments for agenda items? Agenda items only, and the agenda is up here in the front. Okay. So we're opening public participation at 7:06 p.m. Chrissy?
Christine Overgaard, 34 Myron Avenue. Just a question. I see resolution 2019 number 81, and attached to that is what looks to be an old policy dating back to year 2000. Is that just for informational purposes?
I actually have to submit that with the resolution for the county to accept the CDBG. They actually want to see that the borough has a policy on record.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wardell?
I have a question on resolution 1987, appointment of volunteers to the Special Events Committee. I was at the last meeting when this subject was brought up, and it was my impression that it was going to be tabled because the appointment of volunteers is the mayor's prerogative, is the council's prerogative to either vote yes or down on that issue. But yet, you know, if you pass this tonight, it looks like you're going to take away the mayor's prerogative. If I'm incorrect, I stand incorrect, but I don't think I am.
Being that it's a new resolution, it doesn't fall under the mayor's authorization because it's not in the borough ordinance for that. And people can be added at any time also, so it's not.
I absolutely agree. People could be added by the mayor of the town, and then you have the right to either vote it down or up. Since the mayor's not here, can I at least recommend that you table this till he gets here and resolve this? Because at the last meeting, it was tabled for that reason.
Didn't we approve that we would create a committee? We just didn't need.
We didn't have names at that point.
Right.
So we accepted that we would create a committee the last meeting.
Right, so the committee's already accepted. We didn't table it. We did accept that we were forming the committee. We just didn't name the names yet for the committee. So I mean, we'll take that under consideration when we discuss it, when it comes up to vote, definitely. I know that we would like to have some activities planned for the summer, and would hate to delay that if.
I understand it, but it was my impression that there already is an activities committee, so, what I don't wanna see happen, to you I really don't, is to take an action that the next meeting you're gonna have to retract, and it doesn't look good. So you do what you want, I'm just telling you, I'm not coming from a place of malice, I am truly concerned about the intent of this, not the intent of this.
I do see
That's-
how it could appear, I do, yeah, definitely. The mayor made the appointments for the Board of Recreation, and that is his authorization. For this committee, it falls under the Special Services Committee and the vote from the council,
Okay,
yeah. But
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you for,
thank you.
yes?
Danielle Pappas, 67 Union Ave. In reference to Resolution 1985 with the confirming of the appointments of the Green Team volunteers, I was reviewing the list and I do have an email stated by Glenn Kosas that I would be part of that team, and I don't see my name on there.
We're adding people this evening, there will be amendments, and actually, anybody here, if you would like to be involved in either one of these teams, we're not refusing anybody. So there will be amendments, if I understand correctly, Mr.
Correct,
Curtis?
we were supposed to have a special services meeting tonight, but we ran over on the administrative justice, and we were gonna talk about adding you then, so, we can do that tonight on the guys.
In fact, I think because it's open participation on this line item, if anybody here would like to be added to the green team at this point, I think we would be glad to take names. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to be added to the Special Services Committee or the green team that's not on the list? Yes?
Kelly Strasis.
On the Special Services?
Which one?
Sure. Or special events, whichever you need me, but
That's what I meant, thank you.
She's on there.
I thought so.
And Stacy Higgins?
Stacy Higgins? And that is for the special events or green team?
Green team
Green
and
team.
special events if you need it, I mean.
Thank you. Thank you, that's very nice. Anyone else who doesn't see your name on the list that would like to be added?
I already spoke to Mr. Calhoun about my name.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to consider? Okay, thank you. Any other public comments or questions about the agenda? Thank you. So moving on to old business, Resolution 19-77, second reading and public hearing ordinance 19-1.
An ordinance amending chapter 34, Uniform Construction Code Enforcement of the Borough of Revised General Ordinances to modify certain fees charged thereunder.
And the council's pleasure?
Receive and file.
Is there a second? Mr. Zajac first and Mr. Kusa second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Moving on to new business. Resolution 19-78, payment of the bills list.
I'd like to offer Resolution 19-78, payment of bills.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call? Any discussion or questions? Thank you. Glad I have assistance.
Okay, Mr. Zajac?
Yes.
Ms. Renee?
Yes.
Mr. Wardell?
Yes.
Mr. Kosis?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
Motion is passed. Resolution 19-78, Cops and Shops Initiative 2019,
That was 79.
19-79. Would anyone like to make a motion?
All for nomination.
Mr. Kosis?
Second.
Discussion? Questions? Okay.
Mr. Zajac,
Yes.
Ms. Renee,
Yes.
Mr. Wardell,
Yes.
Mr. Kosis.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 19-80, Community Development Block Grant Resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a project agreement with Monmouth County for performance and delivery of fiscal year 2018 community development projects. Any discussion or questions? May we have a motion?
I'll offer that.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions? No, roll call.
Mr. Zajac,
Yes.
Ms. Renee,
Yes.
Mr. Wardell,
Yes.
Mr. Kosis.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
and Mr. Calhoun.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes, thank you. Resolution 19-82, acknowledging April 81, thank you, we just did that one.
No, we did 80.
Ah, thank you. Resolution 19-81, Community Development Block Grant Resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a certification prohibiting the use of excessive force and certification prohibiting the use of federal funds for lobbying. May I have a motion?
I'd like to offer that, please.
Mr. Calhoun, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wardell. Any discussion or questions? No? Roll call, please.
Mr. Zajac,
Yes.
Ms. Renee,
Yes.
Mr. Wardell,
Yes.
Mr. Kosis,
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
and Mr. Calhoun.
Yes.
Motion passes. Now 19-82, acknowledging April 2019 as Autism Awareness Month. May we have a motion, please?
I'll offer that.
Mrs. Lewis, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Wardell? Any discussion or questions? No? Roll call, please.
Mr. Zajac,
Yes.
Ms. Renee,
Yes.
Mr. Wardell,
Yes.
Mr. Kosis,
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun.
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution 19-83, declaring April 22nd, 2019 as Earth Day. May we have a motion, please?
So offered.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? No? Roll call, please.
Mr. Zajac,
Yes.
Ms. Renee,
Yes.
Mr. Wardell,
Yes.
Mr. Kosis,
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun.
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution 19-84, approval of volunteer firefighter application. May we have a motion, please?
So offered.
And a second?
Second.
Kosis and Zajac? Any discussion or questions? I just want to say thank you, because, I mean, volunteers are the heart of our town, and our firefighters just do an awesome job, and just so grateful for Jordan McLaughlin for volunteering, and much appreciation. Is Mr. McLaughlin here? No. Okay, so much appreciation, and may we have roll call, please?
Mr. Zajac,
Yes.
Ms. Renee,
Yes.
Mr. Wardell,
Yes.
Mr. Kosis,
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun.
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution 19-85, confirming appointments of Green Team volunteers for Sustainable New Jersey. May we have a motion, please?
Well, no, we have to amend the resolution.
Okay. So, thank you. So, may we have a motion for an amendment to this resolution?
So offered.
Mr. Kosis, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Calhoun. And discussion.
Well, no, not about the amendment, no, we'll do it, I'll wait.
We need to first approve the amendment and then approve the amended resolution.
Okay. So,
A motion to amend, to allow the amendment to occur. And then
Hang on a second, so I need
and then a motion to approve that amended resolution.
thank you. So we're making a motion now to make the amendment to the resolution. So, may we have roll call, please?
Okay, so we have Mr. Zajac.
Did somebody offer to amend?
I have a motion to amend by Mr. Kosis, seconded by Mr. Calhoun.
Okay. Yes.
Ms. Renee,
Yes.
Mr. Wardell,
Yes.
Mr. Kosis.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
And Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
Okay.
So, now we would like to offer the amended resolution 19-85 confirming appointments of Green Team volunteers. Don't we do that during the discussion? All right, so we're supposed to add the names now and then approve it. So we're adding the name of Marie Brown and Stacy Higgins. And Stacy, what's the correct spelling of your name?
STACEY-HIGGINS.
Thank you. And Danielle Pappas.
To the green, okay.
We also have to add Aaron Makarowski.
Aaron Makarowski, we'd like to add also.
I'm sorry, Councilman, you said Aaron?
Aaron, don't ask his full last name. E-R-I-N Makarowski.
Give me the last name.
MACIOROWSKY.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I would also like to add the names of Shane and Jordan Toohey. And the correct spelling of Toohey is
T-O-O-H-E-Y.
Thank you.
So Shane and Jordan?
Yes.
I was for special events,
We'll get.
not the green.
Oh, wait, you were special events, not Green Team. Thank you, Marie. Thank you. Anybody else for Green Team? Okay, so we would like to now offer the resolution 19-85 with the amendments confirming appointments of the Green Team volunteers for Sustainable New Jersey. May I have a
So
motion? Mr. Kosas,
Second.
second by Mr. Calhoun. Any other discussion or questions?
Just one here, only because, I don't know if it's gonna matter, but one of the, members on here would be, Keaton Sunday's a member of the environmental committee. We haven't created any environmental committee, so I don't know if that's going to affect her membership on this or not. I don't know if, I'm just playing it safe. You know, I don't know if it matters or not. I mean, can we just add her, maybe just take off the part that says environmental committee and still just add Keaton Sunday, we can change it later?
Absolutely.
We can do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Put
Yeah.
a list of residents now, and we can always amend it later.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have, resolution 19-85 confirming appointments of the Green Team volunteers for Sustainable New Jersey with amendments. And, we have a motion set, so if you're okay, roll call.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Zajac?
Yes.
Ms. Renee?
Yes.
Mr. Wardell?
Yes.
Mr. Kosas?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Resolution has passed. Amended resolution has passed. Moving on to resolution 19-86, temporary emergency appropriations number 3.
I'd like to offer that.
Ms. Lewis, thank you. Second
Second.
by Mr. Zajac. Any questions or discussions?
I have a few. I wonder if the BA might be able to clarify for me. I was trying to make the numbers box, and I don't know if there's typos in here or not. Is it, we're transferring 50,000 or 75,000 to the sewer?
Just 50.
Oh, because at the top of the number,
Correct.
it says 75 at the bottom.
That's right.
of the
In
drawing.
the body, in the second whereas.
75 here,
Oh,
but it says
okay,
50.
yes. Let me see if I did not catch
How about that?
that. Make sure.
My paper's extra.
We need to see if
No.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just double checking.
Well, then the 45.3.
Yeah, that number's
That's not right.
It's 27,000.
I have 27,000, yeah. I think so. Yeah, 'cause we do. Okay, so it's going to be, yes.
Okay, there's there's some discrepancy in the numbers. May we have a motion to withdraw, this resolution
I'll make that.
by Mrs. Lewis? Second by
Second.
Mr. Zajac. We would like to, have a resolution to amend Resolution 2019-86.
So offered.
So offered by Mr. Wardell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Lewis. Are you catching up okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm set.
So the discussion would be to change the numbers in the second paragraph, whereas
Whereas the total emergency temporary resolution adopted in the year 2019 pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 96 PL 1951 NJSA 48:4-20, including this resolution total of $27,000 for the current fund and $50,000 for the sewer utility operating fund.
All right,
Any other
next box.
discussion or questions? Nope. Roll call, please.
Yeah, this is the motion to amend, and then we can do a motion to offer.
Okay, so this is resolution to amend, Mr. Zajac?
Yes.
Ms. Renee?
Yes.
Mr. Wardell?
Yes.
Mr. Kosis?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
And Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
The resolution to amend Resolution 86 has passed. Now, we would like to have a motion for Resolution 2019-86, the amended Resolution 2019-86.
I'll offer that.
Mrs. Lewis, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Zajac, any other discussion or question? Again, it's changing the numbers to 27,000 and 50,000. Roll call, please.
Mr. Zajac?
Yes.
Ms. Renee?
Yes.
Mr. Wardell?
Yes.
Mr. Kosis?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
The resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 1987, appointment of volunteers to the Special Events Committee. May we have a motion to amend Resolution 19-87?
I'll offer that.
Mr. Calhoun, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Lewis.
No, because we're gonna add numbers.
I'm sorry, Ms. Lewis?
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun first and Mrs. Lewis second. So do we discuss about the amendments right now, or just to amend it?
Just to amend it.
Okay, so roll call please.
Okay, motion to amend, Mr. Zajac?
I just have a question before I vote. Do we need a resolution to have a committee?
We already passed that. We did,
Okay.
2 weeks
That was,
ago.
Ms. Renee?
Yes,
Mr. Wardell?
This is just we're voting to amend.
correct.
Yes.
Mr. Kosis?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
And Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, so. Now do we discuss the amendments? All right, so we're gonna discuss the amendments now of adding some people to the Special Events Committee. That would be Stacy Higgins and Marie Brown. Let's see, there was one other. I'd like to also add the name of Christina Kosis. Anybody else want to be added if you don't see your name on the list? No? Okay, so now would anyone like to offer resolution 2019-87 with the amendments?
So offered.
Mr. Calhoun, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Lewis. Discussion or questions?
I have one. I too am really kind of questioning the necessity of this committee. We've always done events in the past. Board of Rec does events at the park with, you know, and there's different things they do. We've got a Neptune Sea Day community who's in charge of putting together Neptune Sea Day. Any other events we have been created when there is an event. Again, I also think that usually volunteers are mayoral appointments. I know the mayor didn't make the appointments on this. I'm just concerned, and I don't have an issue with a committee, I just think that maybe we're creating something that's just not necessary, is my opinion, so I probably won't vote for it, just put it out there, as I just don't think it's necessary.
I know that we've had residents in town who would like to volunteer, and there's only so many spaces available on the
Okay.
Board of Rec.
Right.
And we don't want to deny any volunteers.
No, I agree. Board of Rec does a little bit different here. Board of Rec is a much more responsibility than events committee. Board of Rec, to be on the Board of Rec, you also have to go through a background check. To be on a Board of Recreation, you have to get fingerprinted. To be on a Board of Rec, there's a lot of steps involved in the Board of Recreation. This is just, appointing a committee. I don't know what its functionality is gonna be. I'm not quite sure if there's gonna be any type of money appropriated to this committee. I just feel it's kind of slapped together, and I just think maybe there should be a little more discussion on it.
I think it was born of the expiration of Neptune City Day.
I didn't know it expired. I just,
Well,
there's still a
I
committee, well.
understood that the town wasn't going to be putting that together anymore.
Well, Neptune City Day was always done by a committee. It wasn't the town that put together, it was a
Right,
committee.
yes, I'm aware of
And
that.
so I don't, I do know members of the committee have since moved out of town.
Yes.
And that was actually very difficult getting volunteers for Neptune
Yeah.
City Day,
Right.
because it's a lot of work.
And then there was also a Memorial Day Parade Committee that was created just for that, which we did not
So-
bring back this year. So we kind of looked at this in place of some of those things and wanting to morph into more activities.
The Memorial Day Committee actually was done by the
Yeah.
mayor at the.
So we do have a Memorial Day committee. We still have a Neptune City Day committee. So, again, it's just my question of necessity and functionality.
And I envision it as just a pool of bodies to have available to actually make stuff happen during the summertime, so the town could have community unity and all of those kinds of things. So I think it's gonna be an evolving process.
I do, I just, these things, they, we wanna do, they cost money. So the idea of like how we're gonna appropriate funds to do these things are not really being discussed. So we're just on this like workarounds route, and what we're talking about, just creating community.
Right,
I didn't know if this was gonna replace the committees that are already.
No.
Except for the Neptune City Day Committee, because this would, fall under that.
Yeah.
My opinion is that it's great that people wanna
Me
volunteer.
too, I agree.
I mean, it's so hard to get people to volunteer in our town for anything. My question would only be, does it have to be a resolution? You could have a committee or a club, anything can meet at the community center to, you know what I mean, to volunteer or help out. That was my question, why it has to be a resolution.
That's a good question. Most of the committees are done by resolution, and this is a resolution that we passed 2 weeks ago, and we're just adding the names today. So it did already pass.
Okay.
Good question. And
I just want to ask the counselor, going by what Mr. Wardell said, is there any legalities to the mayor not being here, or the resolution from last week covers?
Well, I mean, that's certainly something you can consider if the mayor, if this is a mayoral appointment, I have to take a look at that. I don't know what was passed at the previous meeting, what the resolution entailed, because if the committee was formed, that resolution would include who was going to be making the appointments. So I haven't been privy to that resolution. Did you, was that part of the discussion?
we had spoken with Attorney Greg Cannon about it, and he has certain appointments, like the Board of Rec. It falls under, so this is just, additional helpers, basically.
I have no issue with the mayor not being here, but it is something to consider whether you like him to be present or not when making these appointments to the special events committee.
So it could be brought back.
It could absolutely be taken, absolutely.
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't know, the way we envisioned when we talked about this was there was a need for people to support the Board of Rec and the community center, that we've got all these great people together, and they probably need a little bit more help. And it's not as formalized as the Board of Rec and all the credentials you need there, so I'm not sure why it would be harmful.
Yeah, there's not going to be like a president or vice
Oh,
president.
no, I'm not concerned about I applaud everybody on here who's volunteered their time. I do. I just wanna make sure we're not doing something that's unnecessary, or in the future would need resolution to, but I think we're wrong. We would need a resolution to remove it. It's not a big deal. It's just questions, concerns I have.
Yeah.
Good question. Anybody else?
Good.
All right. May we have roll call, please?
Okay, so this is a resolution 19-87, appointing volunteers to the Special Events Committee with amendments.
With minutes.
And I do have a motion and a second, so Mr. Zajac.
I have one other question. Will the events committee, is there a scheduled meetings that you're gonna have?
I will schedule one before the end of
Is
April.
this good, okay. I will vote yes.
Ms. Renee?
Yes.
Mr. Wardell?
I'm gonna abstain.
Sorry, I lost that. Mr. Kosis?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
And Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
The resolution passes. Moving on to resolution 19-88, resolution to enter into executive session. May we have, it needs to tell us what it's.
Yes, number 2, general nature of the subject matter to be discussed as follows: litigation, tax appeal settlement offer discussion.
I don't expect this to be a very long meeting. If you would all like to wait, you're more than welcome to. We just need to go into executive session shortly. Is there a motion?
So offered.
Mr. Wardell, second?
Second.
Mrs. Lewis?
Mr. Zajac?
Yes.
Ms. Renee?
Yes.
Mr. Wardell?
Yes.
Mr. Kosis?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
I was told we can go right into the conference room before this.
Just to note the time, it is 7:35. Yeah, you can stay here if you like and mingle, and we will hopefully be back shortly.
You get real tight to each other, you know each other. No attention, that's true.